Hello and welcome back to another episode from Driving Britain. Today we're going to be looking at the differences between US versus UK KFC foods.
Dihydrogen pyrophosphate, in parentheses, to maintain color. Okay, we add so many chemicals to our fries, we add more chemicals to make it look like it doesn't have any chemicals.
And we're not just going to be looking at the amounts of foods, but what's actually in the food. Everybody knows that American portion sizes are absolutely huge compared to most other countries and especially compared to the UK. But also what goes into the food. Everybody knows that, well, money takes precedent in the US when it comes to putting bad stuff into the food. If it works out that a company can make more money by putting something pretty harmful into a food rather than putting, well, the more expensive but safer product into the food to achieve the same thing, then they're going to choose money over health every single time. Luckily in the UK we're not quite as bad, although it is getting a bit worse here. We've recently seen things like titanium white being introduced, which is known to be carcinogenic, and some argue that it's cancer causing and all sorts of stuff like that, so we're not exactly free from it. But we're nowhere near as bad as what we've been seeing in the US. So let's go straight into the video and see exactly what Food Wars have got to say about it. The video that we're watching is from Food Insider. As always, you're encouraged to subscribe to them as well as us.
From calorie count to portion sizes, we wanted to find out the difference between a US and a UK KFC. This is Food Wars.
Well, the US already looks bigger, doesn't it? It's double stacked.
Now you can't actually get a small drink at a UK KFC. It starts at regular. This is what a regular drink looks like.
Yeah,
This
McDonald's
is what
stocked
a
the small
US
fries as well.
regular looks like,
And this is what a large drink looks like.
and this.
Even from the
US
beginning,
large
even the
looks
drinks are twice the size near enough.
This is a regular fries. And this.
There we go with the drinks. I know that when you have the large, a lot of the time, by the time you got 3/4 way through it, you're pretty bored of it. You end up just drinking it because you've got it rather than because you actually won it. So I'm not sure that I'm really that bothered about not having the extra large drink. You know, the American size large.
There's a large fries.
Here's the US regular, right? You want to go the next size up. This is the US large.
It's like a trough of fries.
Look at how big that is. It's like 5 of those.
What is that?
Find out how much a large fries weighs in the UK.
What do you do? Do you like pull in with your car, pulling a trailer and say just load it up, just pour the fries in and we'll sort them out later? Take your few work buckets with you, fill them up into the work buckets and see how it goes. You wouldn't have room for your chicken.
Let's weigh our large fry. Oh man. Oh, they're packed in there.
Look at the size of that.
Look at that. Is that everything?
This is what a regular popcorn chicken looks like.
We have.
That's mad. There's no wonder you've got a weight
popcorn
problem in the
chicken.
US.
And this is what a large popcorn chicken looks like.
And if you want to go even larger than the large, you can get yourself popcorn chicken box.
Look at that.
Something for you and your buddies, I'm sure.
Now that looks pretty good, because I mean there's way too much chicken to what you should be eating, I guess. But I know that the small popcorn chicken in the UK is just pitiful. The small one is just ridiculous, and it's more into the ridiculous. Whereas that's just the opposite end of the scale. I think I'd rather have that and have a few cold later, well, quite a few cold later, rather than not have enough in the first place. But I don't know, there looks like to be quite a lot there.
Sure. Not eating this by yourself.
Yeah, you'd have to have that as a share box. You wouldn't
Nope.
eat it yourself,
No
would you?
way. Am I doing this without... Oh, don't jinx it.
Look at the size of that, large to large.
Oh! Yep. And, yep.
500 grams on the dot. 130 grams
In
to
the UK,
500
you can
grams,
get
that's
buckets
just
in 3
madness.
sizes. You can get a 6-piece. You can get a 10-piece.
I wonder how the price reflects between those two as well, the price of our large versus the price of the US large. Because usually, you know, when you buy the large, then it's not much more expensive than the medium. But there's so much more chicken there, you would expect that to be a massive kind of, you know, price hike. So if anybody knows US prices, it will be interesting to add that to the comment section, please. If you had the US
Or you
versions,
can get a
we can add the
14
UK
piece.
versions. And not just the US, actually, all of the countries. If you add the prices for the different amounts into the comment section, and then other people from other countries, we can all kind of link onto it and we can put ours in. And then we can all see how much it varies between each country. Ideally, if you can, then if we all stick to, say, US dollars, to keep it fair. I'm inclined to say British pounds because I'm in the UK, but to keep it fair and a bit unilateral, if everybody puts into the comments the price of your products in US dollars, so just go on Google, add a conversion, then we can all see how much it varies from country to country, because I think that'd be quite interesting as well. It's alive!
8-piece.
Oh, this is going to be ridiculous, isn't it?
12-piece. This is, I can't even dump it. Yo! Look how much chicken this is. Oh my God.
I know that's cold, but it does look very dry as well though, doesn't it? 16 pieces. It'd take a lot to eat that.
Unfortunately, KFC in the UK doesn't disclose its ingredients, but what we do know is calories. For example, in the UK, a drum is 170 calories.
And in the US, one of these guys for the original recipe is 130 calories. But if you get extra crispy, like this guy right here, it's actually 170.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we get the choice in the UK and whether we have normal or crispy. I don't remember seeing crispy as an option.
USA is actually still winning on calories. That's largely thanks to the sides and the drinks. If you were to walk into a UK KFC and order a 3-piece meal and they gave you a drum, a thigh and a wing with a large fries and a large Pepsi, that would come to 1,155 calories.
Our large fry is 930 calories and our large drink is 380. And if you were to order a 3-piece with a large fry and a large drink in the US, it would be roughly this many calories. The KFC in the US has released its ingredients list. I would like to go.
Yeah, I think that because the portion size is bigger, then the calories are going to be higher. You'd expect that. But there didn't seem to be that much difference, realistically, for what you're getting. That much difference from calories between the US and UK. A bit up and down, but nothing major.
Go over the ingredients of the French fries at the KFC in the US. All right, here we go. Sea salt, monosodium glutamate, maltodextrin, salt, dextrose, vegetable powders, tricalcium phosphate, hydrolyzed soy proteins, spices, soybean oil, natural flavors, potassium chloride, paprika extract.
Hang on, this is supposed to be just a portion of potato fries. So you've got oil, potato, salt. What are all of these other things?
Color, turmeric extract, color, potatoes, obviously, vegetable oil. It has soybean oil, canola, cottonseed, and or sunflower. Bleached wheat flour, and it contains 2% or less of rice flour, durum wheat, semolina, durum wheat, semolina.
Yeah, I think it's trying to say semolina.
It looks like it's easy, but it's hard to say. Semolina, durum wheat, semolina. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know why semolina would be in fries. But there again, I don't know why any of that would be in fries other than the sea salt. The potatoes, I'm surprised there's enough room to put potato in. But the sea salt, the potatoes, and oil, there's soybean oil. Some type of oil, cooking oil of some sort. I'd expect to see that. Rice flour, maybe if they're trying to make crispy chips, then I might add some rice flour, but otherwise I'm not sure. Maybe even a paprika for a little bit of flavouring. But I've not really noticed that KFC fries, at least in the UK, have that much flavouring with them. There's just normal kind of fry flavour. There's a little bit of extra flavouring because they leave the skin on, whereas McDonald's don't. But other than that, I don't really remember there being that much difference. Certainly not enough to justify all of those chemicals. But, well, we don't get that amount in the UK anyway. This is just US fries. I think the UK ones are pretty minimal. I hope they are.
Cornmeal. Oh, thank God it's been degermed. Cornstarch, leavings, sodium acid pyrophosphate, sodium bicarbonate, dextrose, again, xanthan gum, there he is, annatto extract color, disodium dihydrogen pyrophosphate, in parentheses, to maintain color. Okay, we add so many chemicals to our fries, we add more chemicals to make it look like it doesn't have any chemicals. Thank you.
Why on earth would you have that many chemicals in straightforward fries? If you was going to make them at home, you would have potato, some type of cooking oil, and then salt for flavouring. Now, I know that McDonald's are supposed to soak their fries in sugar water as part of the pre-cook process. I don't know how much sugar or if they even actually do that. I just know that that was one of the original stories. And it makes sense. Yeah, they are quite nice and stuff. You don't expect fries to be healthy. But, you know, let's try and get back to that. Look at that. That's just ridiculous. Why on earth would anybody think that having all of that in straightforward fries is a good idea? And if that's in the fries, then what on earth are they putting in the chicken and all the other stuff? That's pretty scary, isn't it?
Chemicals to our fries, we add more chemicals to make it look like it doesn't have any chemicals. Thank you, the sodium dehydrate. What the f? Yeah.
Here are some things you can only find on the menu at a UK KFC. So instead of a chicken sandwich, what we call ours is the chicken fillet burger. I think it's pretty much the same thing. It's like breaded and fried chicken between two buns with some lettuce and some mayonnaise. We also have something called the Zinger burger, which is pretty much the same thing,
They're quite
but
nice,
the
though.
spice level is amped up a little bit. You can also turn these burgers into a tower burger. What that does is adds cheese and a hash brown to the burger, which in my opinion, very worthwhile addition.
We have some stuff on our KFC they can't get in the UK, and surprisingly some things I thought were like kind of
What is all of that?
like paramount
We've got bread
to the
rolls.
KFC menu. Mashed potatoes and gravy. This to me
What?
seems
At
like
KFC?
something.
Mashed potatoes and gravy. Okay, is that so you can get your roast dinner there? You can get your chicken, your mashed potatoes, and your gravy. Even add a little bit of sweet corn so that you have, you know, all-round balanced diet type meal. Is that how you're getting your roast dinner in the US? KFC with your potatoes and gravy. Talking about it's made a memory come back about hearing somebody a few months ago on one of these videos talking about that they was having mashed potato at a KFC, and that, or that they used to at least, and it was one of the biggest things that they used to go there for. They used to just go there for the mashed potato and gravy, and I forgot all about it until we're on about it now, because it's so bizarre. KFC selling potato and gravy. That's the sort of thing that we get at, you know, a pub that serves meals.
That has just always been part of KFC along with the chicken. Look at
Wonder
this
why that
mashed
never came
potatoes.
to the
We have
UK.
a tub of mashed potatoes. Okay, let's make a mess. Oh yeah.
You see, that looks quite nice. I think that that tub of mashed potato with some gravy and pour that sweet corn in, I would eat that just on its own. And I'd really like that. I think that KFC should bring that to the UK.
Oh my goodness. Put that on
But
the
why have you
cover
got scones
of
in the
Gravy
background?
Aficionado magazine. Another thing I didn't realize you guys don't have, biscuits, or as you
They're not biscuits, they're cakes, they're scones.
call them scones. This is called a famous bowl. It is
Well, so then what do you have in the place of biscuits? I know that you have cookies, but there's a difference between cookies and biscuits. This is a cookie and this is a biscuit. What do you call the biscuit?
is mashed potatoes and gravy and corn, topped with popcorn chicken, topped with cheese, all in one bowl. Yeah, this thing, I don't think I've ever had one of these because it looks ridiculous.
Now Joe, I'm glad you also think that the famous bowl doesn't look that great, because to me that looks like a nightmare. Now we have a slightly different approach to sides in the UK compared to the US. For example, our corn comes on the cob, baked beans.
And it is nice,
These
soaked
are
in
slightly
butter.
different to the regular beans that you might put on toast in the UK. They have kind of a barbecue sauce flavour to them. There's a few other language differences.
Yeah, they do tend to be a little bit more kind of bullet like that, you know, like as if they're cheap beans that haven't been cooked enough. But they're generally quite nice. And if you're eating a lot of chicken can be quite dry, so dipping it into coleslaw or into beans, then it does help. Well, having some gravy to dip it in, that would help even more. KFC, if you're listening, we're looking at you.
Like instead of chicken tenders, we call ours chicken mini fillets.
Mini fillets, chicken tenders, they look exactly the same. We got those. Yes, they have corn, but we have ours off the cob, which I think is not as good as on the cob. This pile right here, and I know, they do have
Yeah, I think that it's probably a little bit easier on the cob because, you know, if you're eating it out in your car and that sort of stuff, you're not going to drop it quite as easily as if you're trying to spoon it out of a bowl. But at the same time, it's so messy eating it from a cob that maybe out of a bowl with a spoon might be a little bit better. But there again, you're eating KFC chicken. Is messy really your top priority?
have wings at KFC in the UK, yes I know, but only in the US can you order them by 48.
What?
48 wings. I'm dying right now, man.
So one of my favourite things from KFC is the hot wings, and they're 2 for £1, I think it is, so 2 for £1. So that's about, I don't know, $1.10, something like that. Especially where the pound is, although by the time this has gone to air, it's probably, I don't know, 30 cents or something like that. But yeah, the hot wings, they are nice, and they're quite spicy.
You smell so good. The pot pie? When I saw pot pie in the menu, I was like, yeah, a little side pot pie. No, dude, this thing, it's like a...
You bought a pie from KFC? We could get a pie from a chip shop, but like a single portion pie, not like it. That's a family pie, that is. If you was going to have pie, potatoes and some vegetables as an evening meal, that might be the sort of size pie you'll have for the whole family. But you wouldn't be able to buy it from KFC. Why can't we buy pies from KFC? Not a chicken pie either, a proper beef pie or something like that, beef and gravy pie.
Like a puppy. This thing has kind of got some weight to it.
Like a puppy.
I've got to say, the pot pie actually looks quite good. We love meat pies here in the UK. You'll often see people tucking into like a steak and kidney pie or a chicken pie, but yeah, they should probably put that on the menu over here. I think
they should. Yeah, I'd buy that.
Let's talk. So
I mean, we can get hot pies, but we go to, Greggs and like bakery type shops. I don't know what an equivalent in the US would be. And if you look across Europe, towards Norway, Germany, I'm not really sure what you call your delicatessen type places, but where you can get some type of hot pie. We do have that in the UK. You can get it from chip shops and stuff as well, and from supermarket hot counters, but we also have kind of dedicated small shops. In the US, I'm not sure if that's such a thing, or if that's, in some areas, like if you get a French Quarter or something like that, then you might get it, but if you get it generally, I don't know. In Europe, I think that is more of a thing. I think it can, kind of perhaps started out from France and spread outwards, but I don't know if you know, or if you know what type of thing that I'm on about and you're from one of the European countries, then answer the comments what they're called. If you're from the US, let us know if you have them outside of, them little niche areas that you get where you get Chinatown and French Town, Italian sector and that sort of stuff. I know you're probably going to get them there as like one-off type shops, but I mean, generally, do you get them?
Sauces, it's sauce talk.
Sauce talk.
I think that these sauces are also specific only to the US and not the UK. The KFC finger looking good sauce. We don't get many
sauces.
See that? We also have the summertime barbecue sauce, honey mustard, and of course, buttermilk ranch.
There are a few.
Yeah, we in the UK have no idea what ranch dressing tastes like. I know it's a really big thing in America, and every time somebody mentions any type of topping or dressing for, or pretty much anything, then the word ranch seems to come up quite often. But in the UK, we have no idea what that is or what it tastes like. So if somebody knows, then put it into the comment section. And as long as it stands out enough, then I'll pin it to the top so that everybody else can try and find out.
Sauces which are exclusive to the UK. For example, we have this spicy supercharger dip, which is kind of like a spicy mayo type thing. We have some sweet chili sauce, garlic mayonnaise, another really good option.
Yeah, overall in the UK, our sauces are pretty limited for fast food and everywhere else. We get the garlic mayonnaise and standard mayonnaise. We get tomato ketchup, we get barbecue sauce, and you get some mustards and honey mustards. But generally, we don't get that many sauces or varieties of sauce in the UK. Nowhere near as much as what you seem to in the US. I think over towards Germany and stuff, then you again start to get, and France, you get a lot more of the sauces start to come back out. It just seems to be this middle bit where it seems to stop. If you're from one of the other countries, anywhere around Europe or the US, I know that you've got a lot of sauces, but all the European countries and also around, I know that people in Australia and stuff watch these videos. Are you like the US? Have you got a massive variety for all these sauces? Is it just the UK that's really, really limited? Or is it that the US have a massive amount of different sauces and condiments to go with foods way out of proportion to all of the countries? Which way around is it? Is it us that have none? Or is it, and everybody else has loads? Or is it just the US has loads and nobody else really goes for it? I've got no idea.
Mayo on chips is just fantastic.
Why don't we have those sauces here? Oh man, I want those.
Yeah, you've got enough sauces. We've barely got in it.
Exclusive menu items to show you, but unfortunately UK KFC is currently operating with a reduced menu. Here's what you could normally find on the menu at a UK KFC.
Yeah, I'm guessing that this was probably filmed during one of the COVID lockdowns and that sort of stuff a year or so ago, or 2 years ago. So yeah, that would have been towards the end of the lockdowns. So they probably, even after lockdown, they didn't really go straight back to traditional menus. They still kept it for a while because they had to wait for supply chains and stuff to start catching. Because tea in the UK is a hot tea, and it's closer to coffee than what it is any type of tea. You can get things like lemon tea and all that sort of stuff, and you can get cold tea versions, but they're not very popular in the UK. Whereas in the US, I know that you're almost exclusively cold teas and herbal teas, lemon teas, things like that. The tea that we're talking about for like English tea and breakfast tea and Tetley tea and PG tips and stuff like that, they're a lot closer to a coffee than a tea. So you'd put sugar in it, you'd put milk in it, and it would be hot. You wouldn't want to drink it cold. Some people drink black tea, you don't put milk in it, and people obviously do and don't have sugar. But comparing a breakfast tea to, say, a lemon tea, they're worlds apart. Earl Grey is kind of a bit of a middle marker, but even with Earl Grey, a lot of people will make Earl Grey tea, but they'll add a traditional tea bag to it for a little while to beef it up a little bit, and then not a full strength one, but just for a little while. We're on about a proper hot drink. At McDonald's, at KFC's, places like that, you get hot tea, hot coffee. You wouldn't usually be able to get a cold tea or a cold coffee. Some of the different ones are coming out more and more, where the American markets are trying to spread into the UK, selling things like the cold coffees, but they've never really taken off.
Which I think is probably pretty close.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly the same as a breakfast tea.
Yeah, I know he's been sarcastic on this one, but I mean generally.
Dude.
So Mountain Dew, that's not even that popular in the UK itself either. Okay, now the things that I've noticed a lot of here, obviously the portions are massive, and because KFC are so well protected about what they do and don't put in their foods, because they don't want to reveal their recipe, and they use that as a big blanket to stop people finding out exactly what's in a lot of the different foods. And that's a little bit scary. I think that in this day and age we should have transparency. They can keep the herbs and all that sort of stuff back for their actual spices, but everything else, that they need to be a little bit clearer. Although they have been very, very clear when it comes to those fries, and I think that that's the biggest thing that I've noticed. And it's not just on this video, I've seen it on other videos where you've got something really simple and straightforward like bread. Bread's a great example. In the UK, the ingredients for bread is just exactly the sort of things that you'd expect. There might be one or two preservatives in there, because at the end of the day, if anybody's ever cooked the bread themselves at home, you'll know that you get about a day out of it before it goes stale. It doesn't last. You need to add some of the dodgy preservative type stuff in there to make it last a reasonable amount of time, so you actually get to eat it before it turns like a stone. But the stuff that you get in US bread, that's a whole different thing altogether. And I don't just mean the sugars, I mean just the whole package. And your fries, what we've just seen on here, I think that's a great example of those sort of differences. There's so many foods in the UK and the US where they're massively worlds apart because of what goes into them. And the fact that the UK and a lot of European countries can get away with not having to add all of these horrific things into the food products makes me wonder why the American producers are adding all of these different things, because at the end of the day they've got to pay up for all of these different chemicals. Even if it is going to give you cancer, they've still got to make it and put it in the food, so it's still going to cost them money. It's costing them money to give you cancer, and that doesn't make sense to me. Plus, if they give you cancer, you're not going to keep buying their product because you're going to be too busy being dead. So again, that doesn't make much sense. So it makes me wonder why they do it, and I'm thinking that it's because in America, you have a certain expectation for what you're buying. When you buy fries, you expect them to taste a certain way. I think it's probably progressed into them tasting how they do right now. Originally, they probably started off like ours, and then something new was tried, and then somebody added something else, and then they wanted to make them last longer, and so on. And it's slowly progressed and evolved into this massive cacophony of chemicals that now have a little bit of potato added to them to make it KFC type fries. And it's not just KFC, it's across the board. It's all the fast food places, and half of the pre-cooked stuff that you're buying for like oven chips and things like that, I bet they're all the same. So I think that that's how come the US have so many bad things in their food, is because when an American person goes out to a food place and they buy a food, they already have a very strong preconceived idea on what they expect it to taste like. I mean, everybody does to a big extent for food. You go out and buy some mashed potato at a restaurant, you expect it to taste like what you expect mashed potato to taste like. Everybody knows what it should taste like. But I think that the reason why you have this expectation of that the fries and whatever else should taste the way that they currently do is because these different chemicals and different bits have been slowly added over time to people trying to tweak them to make them a little bit more flavoursome or last a little bit longer or cook quicker. I don't know, one of the other many reasons that they keep tampering with food. All usually comes down to profit, but one of the many reasons. And that's how it's progressed into them tasting the way they do now. So then if somebody tries to sell you just a pure potato, like a British version of the KFC fries, then I think that you're going to walk in, you're going to taste it and you're going to think, this doesn't taste right, this isn't what I expected it to taste like. And even if it does taste nice, it's not going to taste like what you expect, so then you're not going to eat it, and then they're going to struggle to sell it. So I think that that's the reason why so many outlets in the US stick to the same formula of having to add all of these different horrific things to your foods. I'm just guessing. If anybody else got any ideas or any comments towards it, then add it to the comment section. That's the whole point of the comment section, is so that everybody can chat about all these different ideas. So it's good when people do chat in there and interact. It's always a lot more informative, it's a lot more fun. So that's what I think might be leading to it, and the reason why you've got so many chemicals in US food. But that's just my opinion. So let us know what you think. Okay, if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to click the thumbs up and ideally subscribe. If you've been enjoying the video in the background, the driving tour, then if you click on our channel, look through our playlists, then you'll see playlists for this type of video which are listed under reaction videos. And then we've also got driving tour videos, but we've also got shorts and relaxing videos and all sorts of other stuff. We are predominantly a driving channel, but we're also an entertainment channel, so we try to provide you with a little bit of everything. So if you've been enjoying the main video, or if you've been enjoying the background video, if you click through to the channel, I'm sure you'll find something else to watch that you will enjoy. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.